I'm Mark Doty, and this is the Moog Sub Phatty. I say this for laughs to a degree because, well, you'll see. We're about to look at the Sub Phatty modulation section. And it's going to take me some time because they've really given you an incredible amount of modulation possibility. Let's be clear, this is the modulation section here. We have LFO rate, source, pitch amount oscillator 2 only, which is super cool, filter amount, and wave amount. And here is the modulation wheel. Let's begin. Okay, so I have this sound. And as we apply the modulation wheel, you'll see that I have pitch amount set to 10, which is to say, as I turn the modulation wheel up, the pitch amount setting will control how much the modulation controls the pitch of both of the oscillators. And you'll recognize this sound. With a pitch setting of 10, we have a great breadth of effect on the frequencies of oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. Well, also the sub oscillator. So that's awesome. But we can also control the rate. Moog has done you the super awesome favor of giving you an audio range LFO rate. In this day and age, you just can't get by with an LFO rate that doesn't go into the audio range because the audio range affords so many cool possibilities. For example, let's back this off. So let's back that off. You can hear that there's a cool sort of saturation occurring that is not destroying the pitch. We can direct that to the filter too, which is probably the coolest thing we can do. But we do have the opportunity with an audio range LFO rate to add delicious distortion effects to the sounds that we work with. Like this needs it. It's a Moog. Come on. But, you know, we have that opportunity should we like to take it. We also have a really slow LFO rate. Listen to this. That's really nice too. If you want to have like these slow pitch changing things over a great amount of time, then that applies to the filter too when we get to the filter amount control. It's a cool thing to be able to do. Okay, and we have other waveforms too. That was the triangle. Here's the square. You can control the amount with both the mod wheel and the pitch amount. The pitch amount is going to be the ultimate amount. The mod wheel is going to be variable. So that's a square wave. That's pretty traditional. Here is a sawtooth wave, which, you know, so often synthesizers just have like a triangle and a square as modulation wave sources. Moog has followed the mini Moog route and given us the, you know, a whole slew of normal oscillator waveforms in order for us to apply them as modulation. And the reverse sawtooth, which is the ramp. Of course, you can always adjust the rate of these to your taste. Or the amount that happens. And here's where we get into cool land, because they've given us a sample and hold. So often we hear sample and hold applied to the filter, and that's awesome, but it's cool to have it in regard to pitch too. If we speed the rate up, we get that, which is pretty cool. By turning the pitch amount up, you get the greatest variation of pitches available from the sample and hold. A very slight mod amount will give you a slight pitch variation. And then as we turn it up, and remember that we're doing all of this with one particular sound. So you could be doing this with any variety of sound and those things being altered over time. So this is a really limited portrayal of the incredible functionality of the timbres possible while implementing modulation. We're still in the pitch amount here, but we're going through the sources. And here's one. This is just amazing. This was such a great idea. I'm so happy about this. The filter EG as a modulation source. And you control how much the filter EG controls what you decide it controls. So it doesn't have to control just the filter. We have the ability to direct the filter EG's control to the pitch, to the filter again, or the wave amount. So there's a lot to show you. But okay, so here it is to the pitch amount. One of the greatest shortcomings of synthesizers since 1970 has been that so few of them allow you to control the pitch with an envelope. It's such an important thing, and so few of them allow you to do it. But Moog allows you to do it, and it not only allows you to do it, but it allows you to do it in some cool ways. Watch this. Okay, yeah, so the envelope, we control the envelope, the filter envelope. It has defined that arch of frequency that we're hearing in the pitch. But what if you only wanted that pitch to go to one of the oscillators and not the other? Well, you have that opportunity. We have a pitch amount to oscillator 2 only button. And then one oscillator just does what it's supposed to do, and the other one gets affected by the envelope. And you can tune what that frequency is going to be, where it ends up, using the envelope. But it allows you to have oscillator 2 doing interesting pitch things while oscillator 1 holds the actual pitch. So what you have is like you can control the detune of oscillator 2. You get to decide what its pitch is going to do in reference to oscillator 1. And that gives you a tremendous opportunity for really cool sounds. You can get these sort of transiency attacks on various sounds. Okay, so that in itself gives you such a tremendous amount of timbral opportunity that it's sickening. But I'm not even done, and they're not done because they also allow you, in allowing you control filter envelope control over oscillator 2, we also have to remember the sync option. So let's turn the pitch amount off. Oh, actually, we need that up. And now we've turned on the sync, and now we're controlling the pitch of oscillator 2 in regard to the synchronization of oscillator 2 to oscillator 1. So that's what we're doing. So if we turn the mod down, we just get the straight pitch, the solid pitch of oscillator 2, the unchanging frequency And we hear the synchronization in that effect, and so that's pretty awesome. But then by adding the modulation, which is directing the filter envelope to the pitch of oscillator 2, by changing the frequency of oscillator 2 while it's trying to synchronize its waveform restarts with oscillator 1, we get these cool traditional sync sounds. Unfortunately, I also have, let's turn that off for a second. I had the envelope controlling the filter cutoff point as well, but I've stopped that. So now we're only hearing the envelope control the frequency of oscillator 2.